Hello traders, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. We can see that Nifty spot has corrected today almost close to 2%, and in last 33 trading sessions, Nifty spot has corrected more than 7%. So let's understand where is the overall market going ahead. First things first, let's have a look at the monthly time frame chart. If we have a look at the monthly time frame chart and if we analyze from this particular low, which is of 1st June 2022, then we can see that we are at a 38% Fibonacci retracement. And if we take this low, which is of March 2020, then Nifty is close to a support of 21,900. So I can say that this zone is very, very important. We are near a very important support zone, but obviously, okay. Now going ahead, if we have a look at the weekly time frame charts, then we can say that this particular zone of Nifty spot, I'll just try to highlight for all of you. I'm talking about this zone because we have lot of zigzag moves over here. So this entire zone makes up as a good support zone for Nifty spot. So the initial starting point of this support was 22,575 to 22,500, which has been broken on weekly closing basis. So as per weekly Nifty spot, the next support obviously is pretty deep enough, which is at 21,678. Now the question is, do we have any support coming up earlier in the daily time frame chart? The answer is yes. I would say that we have just closed below a support which is 22,170, 150. But just to understand the context a bit more clearly, the RSI has gone below 30. And this is happening after November 2024. The last time when RSI went below 30 levels was somewhere in November 2024. This is happening after a few months. Now, if you just have a look at the overall trend, we can see the first gap. We can see the second gap. So yes, we can say that there is little bit of hurry in this market to go down. I can clearly say that. Prices are a little bit away from the moving averages, although they are not extremely away and markets are not extremely overstretched. But just as a short-term view, I should say we are near a support of 22,150. Yes, we have closed below that particular level. But if we gap up on Monday or Tuesday and we remain above that, then this low will become a support, which is 22,100. If we continue trading below this low, which is of today's low, then yes, then the next immediate support will come at 21,780 in the daily time frame chart, and in the weekly time frame chart it will be 21,664. So obviously a level which is from 21,800, from there 21,650, this entire zone will work as a pretty decent support zone for Nifty spot. Going ahead for Bank Nifty, I should say the trend in Bank Nifty in the daily time frame chart is still down. In the weekly time frame chart, we can see that the spot chart, Bank Nifty, has faced a resistance as 50,600. In the monthly time frame chart, I should say that the trend is completely flat. In terms of momentum, I think the momentum is lacking in the daily time frame chart, and that is the reason why markets could not close lower in comparison to Nifty. Because if you have a look at Nifty, Nifty has closed minus 1.8% down, but Bank Nifty is not even 1% down. And that is the reason there is a lack of momentum, because probably few heavyweight stocks are not allowing Bank Nifty to correct on the downside. But overall, I should say, if this low is broken properly, convincingly in Bank Nifty, then I think bullish traders should be a little bit careful. PSU Banks. Now, when I'm talking about PSU Banks, I would also like to talk about private banks, because I would like to compare both of these charts. Now, you can see this daily chart of the private banking index, and now I'll suddenly open the PSU Banks. You can clearly see that overall momentum, overall trend is very, very weakish in the PSU banking sector, and I think the overall trend might continue on the downside. In terms of support, if we speak, then the immediate support for PSU banking spot chart is at 55.24 or 55.20. Currently we are trading at 56.52. So overall trend still remains on the downside. Only thing is that the RSI is inching towards 30 level. Talking about private bank, I think the trend is down in the private banking index. In the weekly time frame chart, it looks that the weakness is increasing slowly and steadily. But in the daily time frame chart, probably since we are trading near important support levels, that is the reason we are not able to break. But I think once we start trading below 24,080 in the private banking spot chart, then I think so it could create problems for the private banking index. Energy pack. Energy pack, I think this is crazy in terms of, you can see this, it's an inverted V. This is a V and this is an inverted V. Why I'm saying like this is, see the momentum in this rally and see the momentum in the fall. This is huge. Okay, this is exceptionally huge. Now, the trend over here in the monthly time frame chart is flat, but if you try to combine this Fibonacci retracement with the help of this cluster, then we can say that we are at a decent support in the monthly time frame chart. Okay. Now going ahead in the weekly time frame chart, if you just have a look over here, we can clearly see that the trend is down. We are also making lower lows in price over here. I'll just try to convert the price in the line chart. We are making lower lows in price, but we are also making higher lows in RSI. So is this a sign of positive divergence? The answer is no, this is not a positive divergence, but certainly it shows that the downside momentum is getting weaker, and earlier it did happen even over here. If you check this, if you compare this low, we have a lower low in price and we have a higher low in RSI. But this particular low was broken and we saw the selling continuing. So what I'm trying to say is that even though if we have a higher low in RSI and lower low in price, we should not consider it as a bottom till the time price itself does not probably tell us that the price is ready to go up. I think we'll have to wait and watch and see what happens in the next week, especially in the energy pack. Looking at the daily time frame chart, you can see that the trend is down, but the momentum is not there. Why the momentum is not there? Because you can see these constant pullbacks, and due to this constant pullbacks, the momentum in the RSI is getting weaker. So I think prices are near supports. There is a sign that the downside momentum is getting weaker. Is there a chance of pullback? Is there not a chance of pullback? I think next week will be very, very important. Next couple of weeks could be important for the energy pack. Metal sector, I would again stick to my view that it is facing resistance between the band of 86.52 to 87.12, and on the downside it is support between 79.50 to possibly 80.70, and it is pretty choppy. I don't have any view on this particular index. Autopack. Autopack, again, one of the indexes which had outperformed pretty nicely when this bull rally was going up, and generally the stocks which go up with extreme momentum and extreme high amount of velocity, the same sectors will also come down with the same speed, and that is what is happening, and it should not be surprising. If you have a look at the weekly time frame chart, we can see rise, fall, consolidation, and then correction. So I think this consolidation was nothing else but the markets were trying to probably take some sort of breather before the next leg of sell-off happens. I think this sell-off is continuing. In terms of the daily time frame chart, I should say that the daily time frame chart looks to be little bit overstretched on the downside, okay, and even oversold, and we are at a support which is close to 20,300, 20,320 in the auto pack. Finance. Finance as a sector, I should say, looks a little bit similar to the private banking pack, and I think if it starts trading below 22,800, we should be a little bit careful. Consumption pack. Consumption pack looks a little bit similar to the auto pack, a sector which was extremely strong between 2020 to 2024, and since it has rallied so much, it's trying to correct that much. And you can see faced a resistance over here. Now it's correcting. And in the daily time frame chart, we have just been able to close below a support zone. If you have a look at the monthly time frame chart, and if I just apply Fibonacci, the next support will be coming up at 99.50, 99.45 in the daily time frame chart, in the monthly time frame chart, sorry. And in the daily time frame chart, the same level is at 9930. So I should say a level which is getting repeated in the daily time frame chart and even the monthly time frame chart, particular that level is of a very great importance. So I think we'll have to wait and watch and see how price will react at this level, which is 99.30 to 99.50. All right. Going ahead in the FMCG pack. FMCG pack, again, it's correcting with extreme high momentum on the downside. No surprise, you can see that this consolidation is a part of this fall, and post consolidation we can see this correction. Now the momentum over here is so great, is so high that even after a very good budget which was provided by our respected finance minister, even after the spike, it was not able to sustain, and then it started falling. It did not even bother to give a pullback. It did not even bother to give a consolidation, and it continued to move on the downside. The first consolidation I think we had after the budget was this one. So this shows the extent of momentum, the extent of sell-off which is happening in the FMCG pack. And we can see that the RSI in the daily time frame chart is showing a oversold reading, plus even the weekly RSI is a little bit near to the RSI 30 level. So just keep this data in your mind. Going ahead in the infra pack. Now infra pack, again, one of the sectors which outperformed very nicely in the bull run. Now it's correcting. Again, if you have a look at the daily time frame chart, the trend is down, RSI is oversold, and the weekly RSI is trying to come into the oversold zone. And overall, if you just apply fibs over here, then possibly the next support in the daily time frame chart will be coming up at 7440. IT pack, the talk of the town. The way IT pack has corrected in the last few days, especially today, it surprised everyone and even me. Like, yes, it was visible that the IT pack needed a little bit of correction before going up, but it would correct so badly, it was frankly not expected, and this is coming as a very big surprise. But anyways, this is what we have to expect as a trader, except as a trader. In the weekly time frame chart, I should say that this entire rally from the lows of June 2024 till the high of December 2024, I've retraced it. We have retraced this entire rally by 61.80% Fibonacci retracement, and this retracement is also near a previous high. So I should say this is a pretty big support. If you have a look at the daily time frame chart, the trend is down. We have also been able to close below this particular support over here, but the RSI is well below 30. It is at 22. All right, it is at 22, well below a comfort level of a trader. And you can also see that the moving averages are much away from the prices. So I think a pullback or a consolidation or something like that is not very uncommon over here. It would be very common to see some sort of pullback or a consolidation, something like that. On the contrary, if you break this level and if you continue to slide down with extreme high momentum, it would really surprise me, because this is a very important support. I think we'll have to wait and watch and see what happens. But looking at the data points, looking at the chart, it seems that we are at near good medium-term supports, and how price reacts here will be of extreme high importance. Pharma pack, I think slowly and steadily it is embracing itself for a further correction. As you can see in the monthly time frame chart, the trend is flat. This is the first rally. This is the first rally correction, then a rally, a negative divergence, and we can see the trend is flat. Momentum is high on the downside in the monthly time frame chart. Going ahead in the weekly time frame chart, it looks even more clear. Why? Well, the reason is pretty clear that as per Dow theory, if you talk about just higher highs and higher lows formation, you will be able to clearly make out that this is the first low, high, low, high, low, high, and low. And then suddenly out of nowhere, we make a lower high. And then now we have also made a lower low. So overall, seems we are in a downtrend even in the weekly time frame chart in Pharma pack. And the next support, I should say, comes up at 19,350 to 19,350, and currently we are trading at 19,813, and the RSI in the daily time frame chart is already below 30. PSE pack. PSE pack, one of the extremely high momentum sectors, extreme high velocity sectors when the bull run was going on, and that is the reason why it's correcting so fast. Weekly RSI creating a higher low, and the price is creating lower low, and this is a sign that the downside momentum is waning, which means the downside momentum is getting weaker. But the question is, will it lead to a bottom? Will it lead to a halt in prices? Well, I think that only market will tell us. But if we just try to understand the overall context in terms of a long-term chart, yes, we are certainly at a 38.20% retracement in the PSE index. And if I consider the recent swing, there are multiple swings over here. There are multiple swings. If I just consider this particular swing, okay, then the next support is much lower. So I think this swing is not a proper swing to recognize. But if we take this next bigger swing over here, and if we just try to plot the Fibonacci, I can see that the next short-term support comes up at 79.18 or 79.20. So I think this entire zone from 7993 to 7918 is a decent support. Now, how price reacts here? Will this convert? Will this probably convert into a pullback or a bottom out or something like that? I have absolutely no clue, because the trend is certainly down in the weekly and the daily time frame charts, and with time I think we will understand. One thing which is important to understand, that earlier the momentum was very high in the PSE index, and now even after constant sell-off, RSI is not able to go below 30. This is certainly a sign that the momentum is getting weaker on the downside. Realty pack, I had clearly told that one of the sectors, one of the weakest sectors in the last couple of weeks. Last week, due to some reasons, I could not share the weekly sectoral analysis with all of you, but it continues to remain weak, and now it has hit an important support zone, which is at 790, 793 in the weekly time frame chart, and the overall trend continues on the downside. Momentum continues on the downside, and we have hit at an important support. Now we'll see how price reacts here. Midcap index trend down, momentum very high on the downside. And we have come up to a short-term support which is at 47,633. So overall, I should say that looking at the overall market and Nifty, the trend is down in the short term, which is the daily time frame chart. In the weekly time frame chart, also now many of the sectors, the trend is down. It is not just in the daily time frame charts. In few of the sectors, we are near supports. In few sectors, we can see formations of higher high in RSI, lower high, a lower low in in price, and higher low in RSI, which is a good sign, which is a sign that the downside momentum is waning. But at the same point of time, question is that will this convert into a short-term bottom? Will this convert into a bounce back or not? I think this is what we will only understand in the next week. The momentum is extremely high on the downside, so be very, very careful before you do anything really risky over here. And just to remind you that the next support level in Nifty is, in case if we open gap up on Monday or Tuesday, considering that we are oversold in the daily time frame chart, then the support will be 22,100. But if we continue to slide on the downside, then the next short-term support will be at 21,750, 760, and a little bit lower will be at 21,650. All right. So I hope this video will add some value to your analysis as well. Trade less, trade wisely. Thank you.